where we effectively become almost like a decentralized YouTube meets Etsy, right? Where anybody could create any type of asset and they could sell that asset, and then it doesn't really involve us at all.
When will the API be finished so digital stores can utilize the technology?
Oh, that's an interesting question. So we actually just had a meeting last week with a store in particular that they do something pretty interesting. They use AI to they're working in more on the physical side, but what we're looking at doing with them is creating an API that would do exactly this component. And what the AI does is it's basically a smarter real-time shopping cart uh, for news sites, right? So specifically, like a lot of it happens on the sports side too. So if you're reading some article and it's about LeBron James or something, and then all of a sudden I can buy a collector edition of his jersey, right? Because they're scraping the content and they're then identifying and pairing that up with actual something that's like super targeted, super relevant to that particular article. And so we're kind of in discussions with them right now about an API endpoint. So I mean, a lot of it is like our roadmap is quite exhaustive and continually growing, and so it's more just resource allocation of how fast we can get to that. I think the other side of that too is like one thing that I'm very fixated on, and we've had some conversations about internally just recently, is like the decentralization of the actual like fulfillment side too, right? So because there's a couple components. There's the decentralization of the actual fulfillment component, and then that would allow anybody to create to ingest that, create any type of their own reading or watching or listening experience. But then the other side of that too is what we're moving down is which we have now internally, a portal that our business team is using to create stuff, but getting to a point where we can expose that publicly, where we effectively become almost like a decentralized YouTube meets Etsy, right? Where anybody could create any type of asset and they could sell that asset, and then it doesn't really involve us at all. And so moving down this path of like completely decentralizing all of that so that nobody can effectively control what content is created or what content is sold or who gets access and who could prevent people, like preventing the idea of people stopping people from accessing content they own.